Chapter 14. Hardy and his grandfather, Mr. Silas Quinn, found Theo and Woody as they crossed Red Creek. Theo was soaked with sweat and blood, and the stress was triggering an asthmatic attack. He was pumping his inhaler as he hovered over a judge who wasn't moving. Mr. Quinn quickly scooped up the dog and placed him on the seat of his pickup truck. Put the bike back there and get in, he ordered, and Woody tossed his bike into the bed of the truck. The boys crowded into the front seat, with Theo gently cradling Judge, whose eyes were closed. Is he going to make it? Hardy asked his grandfather. He'll be all right, Mr. Quinn said as he shifted gears and took off. He had already called 911 and requested an ambulance and the police. He wanted the survey crew off his property, and he would have preferred to confront them himself. But at the moment, there was a badly injured dog to deal with. They were flying along a gravel road headed for town. Mr. Quinn said, Who has a cell phone? Woody did not because he was only 13, and his parents thought he was too young. Hardy had one, but he wasn't sure where it was. Theo said, I do. I think you should call your parents, Theo. Mr. Quinn said. Theo gently placed the judge into Woody's lap and pulled his phone out of his pocket. Where are we going? Theo asked. Not sure, Mr. Quinn said. Who's your vet? Dr. Cole. Elsa answered the phone at the office. She informed Theo that his mother was in a meeting with a client, but his father was not. As he told his dad what happened, he gently stroked Judge between the eyes. He glanced at Woody, the toughest kid he knew, and saw tears. They stopped the ambulance in the middle of the county road that led to the Quinn farm. At first, the crew was not sure how to handle an injured dog, but Mr. Quinn was not a man to argue with. In loud and colorful language, he told the crew to take Theo and the dog to Dr. Cole's office on South Clement Street. Mr. Quinn, Hardy, and Woody would follow in the pickup truck. Inside the ambulance, Theo watched as the two paramedics treated Judge as though he were a badly injured child. They placed him on a sterile white gurney, cleaned his wounds, whispered words of encouragement to him, and checked his pulse. Though it was obvious to Theo they were trained to assist humans and not dogs, they did a wonderful job making Judge comfortable, and Theo as well. His shirt was covered with blood and dirt, and one of the paramedics slowly wiped it with a gaze to make it somewhat cleaner. He has a pulse, the other one said as he pulled a sheet up to the Judge's neck. I think he'll be all right. Thanks, Theo managed to say. We never hauled a dog before, one said. What happened to him? Theo just shook his head, unable to tell the story. For almost 40 years, Dr. Cole had mended and healed most of the dogs and cats and other small animals in Strattonburg. His quiet little office was in an old shopping center that had seen better days. His longtime receptionist was Miss Ross, a fiercely efficient assistant known to call and scold clients when their pet's rabies vaccine had expired. Miss Ross was at her desk late that Friday, making things tidy and getting ready to leave. When the phone rang and Mr. Woods Boone explained the family dog was en route and in bad shape. Was Dr. Cole around? Indeed, he was. Minutes later, Miss Ross watched in disbelief as the ambulance roared to a stop at the front door. In 40 years with Dr. Cole, she could not remember an injured animal arriving in an ambulance. She knew Judge Boone was a special dog, weren't they all? But had no idea he had such respect in the community. Behind the ambulance was a pickup truck, then a police car, then two other vehicles. A paramedic cradled the dog and rushed him inside. The small waiting room quickly filled with a bunch of nervous people. Theo, his buddies, his parents, Mr. Quinn, the paramedics, and the ambulance driver, Elsa from the office, and two officers in uniform. While Dr. Cole and a technician carried Judge into the back for x rays, Theo was examined by his parents. He was covered in dirt, blood, and sweat. He was barely able to control his emotions as he told the story, with Woody and Hardy helping with the details. He actually struck you with a stick, Mr. Boone said. Twice on the backside, Theo answered, and the short one knocked me down. One of them pushed me down too, Woody added. This is outrageous, Miss Boone said, staring at the two policemen. One of them said, We're on the scene, Miss Boone. I should hope so. We want to press charges as soon as possible, Mr. Boone said. I want these thugs in jail. So do I, said Mr. Quinn. They were on my property without permission. The group quickly agreed that the bad guys must be brought to justice. Then things settled down a bit. The waiting began. The policemen and ambulance crews signed off and disappeared. Miss Ross made a pot of coffee and they all drank it from paper cups. After about an hour, Miss Dr. Cole came out for his first update. He explained that Judge was alive, barely, but in bad shape. He had a faint pulse. He had taken several blows to the head, and these had caused a severe concussion. There was no fracture of the skull, but quite a lot of swelling around the brain. His right front leg was broken, and several teeth were knocked out. In Dr. Cole's opinion, he was lucky to still be breathing, and the next 24 hours would be crucial. If the brain continued to swell, Judge probably would not survive. Dr. Cole led Theo and his parents into the rear of the clinic to an exam room where the lights were dimmed. On a small table covered with a sterile white sheet, Judge lay on his side, eyes closed, tongue hanging out, fur shaved from his face and head, an IV stuck to his left front leg, and a splint on his right front leg. He was such a pathetic sight that Theo immediately began crying. He couldn't help it, and he couldn't stop. He hated crying, especially in front of a stranger, but staring at his gravely wounded buddy, he just couldn't hold back the tears. Miss Boone was crying too. After they gawked at Judge for a long time, Dr. Cole said, There is nothing else I can do. I'll have a technician here all night to monitor things, but frankly, it's now just a matter of waiting. I'm not leaving, Theo said, teeth and braces clenched tightly. I'm waiting here all night. Come on, Theo, Mr. Boone said. I'm not leaving. When I'm sick, Judge stays beside my bed and never leaves. I can do the same for him. Forget it, Dad. I'm not leaving. Miss Boone said, Theo, forget it, Mom. Judge needs to hear my voice and know that I'm here. I'll talk to him all night, okay? Please. The adults looked at each other, then Dr. Cole shrugged. It's up to you, he said. Doesn't matter to me. Miss Boone said, Okay, Theo, but let's go home, have a quick dinner, take a shower, and change clothes. No, Mom, I'm not leaving. I'll never leave Judge. Never. Occasionally, in the chaotic game of parenting, it was important for the adults to yield and allow the kids to get their way. This seemed like a perfect moment, and Mr. and Miss Boone were wise enough to understand. Miss Boone stepped closer and patted her son on the shoulder. Okay, Theo, we're going to run home, get some clean clothes and something to eat. We'll be back in an hour, okay? Thanks, Mom, Theo said, without taking his eyes off Judge. When his parents and Dr. Cole were gone and the door was closed, Theo leaned over Judge and gently kissed him on the nose. With tears dripping off his cheek, he began whispering into his ear, I love you, Judge, and I'm going to talk to you until you wake up, okay? Listen to me, Judge, because I'll never stop talking. But Judge never moved. That's the end of chapter 14.